Two prominent theories in adolescent development involving identity are James Marsh's identity status theory and Erik Erikson's 8 stages of identity development. In each of these cases, the individual begins to question the beliefs and morals that have been instilled upon them during their lifetime and explores other belief systems before deciding exactly what they believe in and who they are as a person. The focus of this presentation will be on how the main character in the 1999 television series, Freaks and Geeks, displays signs of this identity crisis and the journey she embarks on to find her true self. Her struggle involves discovering where she fits in the social crowd in school, as well as identifying what her general role in society may be. Marsh's identity status theory involves 2 dimensions, exploration and commitment. Exploration represents the process of seeking out different ideas, beliefs, concepts, and morals, while commitment represents the acceptance of certain beliefs and ideas as one's own. There are 4 different statuses in this theory: achievement, moratorium, foreclosure, and effusion. Achievement is when an individual has explored many options and has committed to one. Moratorium is when the individual is still exploring but hasn't committed. Foreclosure is when a person committed to one belief without exploring any others, and effusion is when an individual has not done any exploring and is not committed to any specific system and seems indifferent about doing so. Most teenagers are in the moratorium status, as they have had many opportunities to explore different ideas and morals, but has not discovered exactly which fits them best yet. This can be known in television and film as a coming-of-age tale, which is something we see often in media regarding adolescence in school. Usually in pop culture, the adolescent has reached achievement by the end of the film. Erik Erikson's theory of development includes 8 different stages in which individuals go through during their lifetime. Erikson defined the time of adolescence as the ego identity versus role confusion crisis. In this stage, the adolescent attempts to create one's own personality and behavioral standards and to identify one's aspirations in many areas of their life. Often, the adolescent begins to reject many of the beliefs or values that have been cast upon them during their upbringing by their parents. This is very similar to the identity status theory in terms of exploring before discovering and committing to certain beliefs. The theme is again seen most often in those between the ages of 12 and 18, and therefore most prevalent in films and television involving education in school. In Freaks and Geeks, one of the main characters is Lindsay Weir, a 16-year-old female who lives with her mother, father, and 14-year-old brother. In high school, she is one of the smartest students in her grade and has been known to participate in several academic events and clubs. She is best friends with a girl named Millie, who she has known since childhood but has had limited contact with upon friending a group of students known as the Freaks. The Freaks, Daniel, Kim, Ken, and Nick, all come from low-income and dysfunctional households, express a cool persona, disregard academics, do poorly in school, and engage in delinquent behavior. These characteristics are essentially the exact opposite of those that Lindsay holds, but through the series she begins to take on these traits and behaviors as she is exploring what she wants to adopt as her own. Throughout the series, Lindsay struggles to discover her true identity as she is faced with expectations from her old friends and her new rebellious friend group. Millie pressures Lindsay to join Mathletes again, while the Freaks pressure her to smoke, party, and cheat on exams. In each of these cases, Lindsay struggles internally in deciding what kind of person she is and who she wants to become. Through these challenges, Lindsay is in the moratorium stage of Marsh's identity status theory. She is trying to discover what kind of person she is and what kind of activities she enjoys taking part in. In this stage, she is also questioning her religious beliefs. Prior to the start of the series, it is implied that she and her family were Christians, but after her grandmother's death, Lindsay begins to question whether she believes in a higher power at all. While this isn't as big of a topic in the show as her desire to discover other aspects of her identity, it is still crucial to the idea that she is considering rejecting the ideas that have been given to her throughout her life as she is discovering her own beliefs. This process of exploration is essential to both the identity status theory and Erik Erikson's 8 stages of identity crisis. Freaks and Geeks follows Lindsay in her journey to discover who she is, and as we watch her try to fit in with the Freaks, we are viewing what Erikson defines as role confusion versus ego identity. It doesn't seem like Lindsay really belongs with the Freaks, but as the series develops and we watch her take part in these rebellious activities, both the audience and Lindsay struggle to define whether she is this person really or if she is just trying to fit in. The final episode of the series shows Lindsay struggle to decide between rebellion and academics as she contemplates what her true self may be. Other characters in the show, both the Freaks and the Geeks, are shown to struggle with this dilemma in this episode as well. It seems as though everyone is fighting to discover where they do and do not fit in society, and whether they are confident in their place at all. By the end of the series, we do not get a final answer of where Lindsay decides she fits in best, and so she never reaches achievement in terms of identity status theory. But the series does an excellent job in exemplifying the constant struggle of Erikson's identity development crises and the journey of self-discovery both in the school environment and their place in the home environment with their families.